And welcome back to Average Joe's. We're back with another episode. This is my greatest, one of the most amazing friends I have, and his name is...
My name is Spencer Middleton.
Indeed, and he has one of the greatest mustaches of all time.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I'm going to start, curling mine out so I can, so I look real classy.
Yeah,
so.
It's not quite Ron Burgundy, but it's getting there.
Hey, it'll get thicker. You wait. You're going to get you a Ron Burgundy stash, motherfucker.
That's right.
Well, thank you for coming on the podcast, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I just do this for the shits and giggles.
Thanks for having me.
Let's cheers to that, son.
Yes,
you gotta open your speedy cola there.
That's right.
Nope. Tips. Just the tips.
Just the tips.
Gingerly touch
All
the
right.
tips. Oh, it's a great sound.
All right.
All right, so Spencer, tell them what you do for a living.
Well, what I do for a living is I work at a company called Trek of Charlotte, basically, CLT. And what we do is we sell as well as repair high-end bicycles. I'm wearing a shirt that's related to bicycles. I literally came here after work mainly to see Jake. Pretty much a lifetime friend.
Yeah, it's a lifetime. It's not pretty much. We've known each other longer than we've been alive. Almost.
Basically,
so, might give or take, 6 years?
90...
91? No, 91 I was born.
96.
96.
97-ish
Yep.
is when we actually first saw each other and were like kids. And I tell you, the first time I saw Jake, I was at the end of my driveway and I looked over to my left, or my right, and I said, dang, that kid's pale. Because he's, he's from the north.
Hey.
And you know what? He's a Michigan fan and all that, which is all good. But he's a true Southerner now. So
I love how you had to add in the now.
Yeah. Yep. Converted.
Hey, well,
Converted.
if you think about it, I'm actually pretty damn Southern in my blood. My dad's from Raleigh, North Carolina, where he was born and raised, and then moved to Michigan when he was 12.
I did not know that.
And my mom was born in Texas.
Okay.
And then they moved to Michigan.
Look at that. It was already in you.
It was already in me. I already had the slang deep down in my soul.
That's right.
Just needed to be brung up to the surface.
Right.
So let's go deeper into your job that you have now. I know, but our fans don't know. You've always had a deep passion for cycling. It's always been I wouldn't say always, but even when we were kids, you loved riding your bike, and that kind of turned into a passion as you got older. What kind of led you down the path of pursuing cycling?
Yeah. It's kind of a weird progression. Through school, it actually, I think, I've broken down the roots of it to be, through school, basically it started with, I've never been, good in school, so, my parents, try to help me out with, different, kind of methods to help me kind of stay focused in school, ADHD, diagnosed hardcore ADHD, basically.
Yep. Right there with you.
So I was medicated basically from 5th grade up until 11th grade. And then, basically my parents had recommended, I had got into mountain biking. And then my parents recommended, or were like, okay, well, maybe you'd be good at racing mountain bikes. And I was all into it. I was like, yes. Like, let's do that because that sounds fun. And so cycling, mountain biking, whatever you want to call it, same thing. That exercise really led me to that was a replacement for the medication that I was on. So I also did track and cross country in high school, and I really got heavy into that track and cross country, not cycling, in high school. And that's when I was like, you know what? Like, this medication is not helping. The side effects are doing a lot more damage than good.
Yeah.
And it's just time for a change. So in 11th grade, I was just like, you know what? I'm not taking any more medication because the medication basically involved, so I was on ADD medication, probably like 5 different kinds over the years, trying to experiment with different ones, and the side effects were like depression, and then you get on a depression medication
just to combat that one medication.
To combat the one medication, yep. And then you get the side effects of that, which are no appetite. You don't want to talk to anybody, which is, and like seriously, I am never going to medicate my kids because this has been a huge thing in my life of like fighting these different symptoms, and you know, it's all a temporary fix. So
it's a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound.
Yeah. So basically, exercise and cycling were the replacement for the medication. So, yeah, I did go through some depression just because of the ADD medication, because that's a side effect. You know, I'm not a depressed person.
No.
Like, I am like monotoned and like depressed sounding, but it's that's honestly, that's just like a side effect of like, because you got to think about how that affects you in
your early ages, as development happens.
You got to think about how that affects you in like grade school and how you interact with your friends, and like, you know, nobody wants to be around the quiet guy who's depressed. So like, cycling to me, like, really, it's like ingrained in me because it was like this like immediate fix of, you go on a ride, you got the endorphins going, and that's like medication within itself. It's like your body's like, wouldn't you know it, your body is designed to de-stress itself.
It is.
Like, it has endorphins.
Yeah, because we have a similar story in that aspect, is where I got diagnosed with ADHD, severe ADHD, as well as a very young kid, and my mom had a decision to make. My mom and dad both had a big decision to make, and they decided not to medicate me. They decided to let me just be a kid. Like, it wasn't, they saw it as, it's not something that we need to fix. He's a kid. He has a lot of energy. That's just what it is. And they let me figure out, as I grew up, they let me figure out how to deal with it on my own without the medication involved. And I 100% agree with that route, hands down. I know there's probably some other cases where people do need to be medicated sometimes, but I feel like it's very few in between.
Right.
So.
And so, yeah, that's just, I mean, yeah, leading back to the cycling is a passion thing. I guess that, you know, I'm only 27 years old, you know, and the way I break it down, it's a passion for a reason. It's more than just like a hobby.
It's not just a passion; it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, But uh, not to say that like I'm going to form my life around that or anything, but
it's your escape.
It's an escape, and it's there's a lot of value to just physical exertion, exercise. That's kind of where I go when I need like a quick fix of you talk about like the medication, like quick fix. You think medication, like being medicated,
which is not the solution.
Which is not a quick fix. It is a very quick fix, but you talk about like running or cycling, like it's hard to like it goes against like what society tells you is to physically exert yourself, which is weird, but
well, that's because we got a whole bunch of lazy people.
I guess it's the lazy people, like it's funny, like the lazy people look down on you for being someone who exercises, as if you're someone who's like below them.
They tell you not to criticize somebody that's like fat, and they call it fat shaming and everything, but they'll criticize you if you're in good shape and you start working out. Call you a meathead, call you a fucking rat.
It's like a rite of passage nowadays to like, it's like you can be at any brewery, which like by the way, cycling and beer go together very well.
I need to become a cyclist. Shit.
So anyway, it's like I feel like it's like a rite of passage to be like, oh, like my life's too busy to work out, and then like they go into all your problems, and we're like, a lot of these problems can be solved, and it's also cheap insurance because you're healthy, and that's less visits to the doctor, whatever. You're keeping your body strong, and it's just preventative maintenance, just like you do on your car. Like you change the oil in your car every 5,000 to 7,000 miles. Your body's going to treat you well. If you don't, then you're going to have this $25,000 car that isn't worth a crap after you've driven it 15,000 miles on one oil change. It's just preventative maintenance on your body, just like anything. You just have to do maintenance on it. But anyway,
so that's your cycling story.
Cycling story, yeah. I do work at a bike shop. That's kind of a couple of my thoughts.
But you don't just work at a bike shop either. You do side hustles as well.
Yeah, I do. I've got a shop set up where I live now, and I do primarily just my neighborhood's bikes. So when I say
during COVID, that is like booming probably.
COVID helps. COVID helps. You wouldn't believe. So in the bike shop world, we've got bikes that are backed up to like the end of 2022.
Jesus.
And it is now April 9th, 2021.
Yep.
And we're talking the end of 2022. People getting the bikes that they ordered, I don't know, a year ago. But
jeez.
Anyway, this is how backed up it's been. That's just direct correlation from demand. And we're just feeling the effects of it. We're trying to keep people happy. And I might be getting a little bit off track here, but
that's anyway. Okay. It's a podcast. You can go wherever the conversation takes us.
Yeah,
it does not matter.
So
yeah, that's crazy because you were telling me about because I told you I wanted to start getting a bike because I hate running. Being like athlete in high school, we ran so much. It physically makes me angry to think about running again. I do not wish to ever run for the rest of my life. But cycling is a different story. Like I would love to go mountain biking. I'd love to ride my bike on the road. So I would need an all-terrain bike where I could just ride it on the road and get a good exercise in, and then also be able to take it off-roading. And you were like, well, man, you ain't going to be able to get a bike like that for a couple of years. It's like if you order it from our shop, because I was trying to get some pricing from you, and you were saying, dude, we're backed up for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because that was 2019 is when I asked you, like right at the beginning of all this, like COVID crap.
Right. And so the gist of it is, COVID hit. Well, even before COVID, I mean, bikes are increasingly in demand. So I think people are just trying to, especially in the Charlotte area, which is where we are, Charlotte, North Carolina. And, we've got a lot of amazing trails out here anywhere. I mean, 15 minutes from your house, pretty much anywhere in Charlotte or the greater Charlotte area, you can be at a trail. So the cycling is great around here.
Absolutely.
And particularly mountain biking. I wouldn't say so much road biking, but there are some there are some counties around the surrounding Charlotte area that are excellent for road biking, if you're into that. But where I was going with this is demand for bikes are going up. I think people are, for whatever reason, finding interest in road biking, mountain biking, but particularly in 2020 when COVID hit and everybody's, okay, we got to work from home. We're going to have, I've never worked from home myself. We're working from home now. Okay, so what am I going to do on my free time when I can't go out in public and do the regular normal things that I do every day? So a lot of people got on bikes, went out and bought bikes, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but bought bikes for the whole family at the same time. So the showroom floor pretty quickly, got bought up, and we are just trying to keep up. There's so many little things I could say about it, like as far as a business aspect of it, every little aspect of everything that's going on. I could go on for much longer than this podcast will last, but
we can keep this podcast and go as long as you want.
To just consolidate it down to kind of as simply as I can put it, demand has gone up like 40%, which is a lot.
That's a lot
in business.
That is a lot
for bikes. And supply chain has been inundated, or supply chain's all messed up right now. So demand has gone up, and so COVID shut down everything in China. Like, so China, Cambodia, Taiwan is where our bikes come from.
Oh, Jesus.
They shut down the factories for a while. So demand goes up. Factories are closing, and it's just like the perfect storm of, people not being able to get bikes for a couple of years. So we're kind of dealing with that. And my job title is production tech, and I am one of the more experienced guys in the shop. We've got some new hires because demand for bikes has gone up, and so we've got a lot of new bikes going out. We've got a lot of those new bikes coming back in. People ride them, they break, and yes, they do break. Believe it or not, they break. They're bicycles. They're ridden hard. They're ridden off-road. They're ridden on-road. They get dropped. So whatever you see, these bikes that are out there that are marketed to be like world-saving, best bike in the world, yeah, it's all marketing. Like, if it has moving parts on it, it will break.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That's with everything.
Yes.
That's anything. Anything that has moving parts, you got to put oil in it. Got to lube something up. It's got gears. Got fucking shifters. It doesn't matter. It's gonna fucking break.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter how well you make the shit. It's gonna break eventually.
Yep.
So
don't come into the bike shop saying, "Oh, I was told this. I saw this on the internet."
Well,
oh, classic. Just riding along, and this happened. Please, just spare me. But anyway, getting back to the point, I'm the lead tech. I do, so I've got people that do bike builds. I have another person who does basic tune-ups, and my job is to do more of the technical tunes, which includes like suspension work. If there's anyone out there that's not familiar with the bike industry, there are parts of bikes that cost as much as entire bikes that you can buy like at Walmart. We've got like,
so basically
for
what
example,
you're saying is you're saying these parts are so expensive, like you can go buy an entirely new bike at Walmart instead of just replacing the piece.
Yep. Yeah, so we've got single wheels that are like 8 Walmart mountain bikes.
Oh Jesus! How much is that? Like just price wise?
We got wheels that are like $1,000 a piece. We've got wheels, and they go up. We've got mountain. You can buy, I don't know, our most expensive bike might be like $13,000, and it's like it's frustrating when you get the most frustrating thing is you got somebody coming in with a Superstore bike. Not going to name any Superstore names, but you can probably imagine.
I don't know any Superstores, so you got me lost.
I will name some manufacturer names that have sold themselves. They used to be great bikes, but they sold themselves to bigger companies. You got Schwinn, Mongoose as the two main ones.
I used to have a Mongoose.
Yeah, but people, especially like the generation before us, will buy a Schwinn and think it's a good bike and bring it to us, and they don't know that Schwinn does not follow the same standards as the real bike industry. So, it's instead of making the best bike, it's making the cheapest bike that we can get away with that people will buy.
Oh yeah,
the general public will buy. They'll make that bike to make it a good price point, to where they'll see it on the shelf and they'll be like, "Oh, that looks like a cool bike. Let's buy that." What's the difference? But it always leads in disappointment. You will spend more money on that bike, and you will spend more of your frustration on that bike than you will if you were to just bought a entry-level brand name bike. Trek, Giant, Specialized, Scott. All great brands. They offer warranties. They have great customer service. You can go to a physical location where you can get all of these warranties and service. It's great. If your bike breaks, they'll warranty it within the first 2 years. A lot of them have lifetime warranties on the frames.
It's not very often that your frame breaks, though.
That's true, but
It does happen.
more so like wheels and parts.
Yep.
But anyway, getting off that tangent. What were we talking about?
That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Because not a lot of people know anything about bikes, and it just listening to you describe like all the different things that you like know from that being in that industry, one, and then also being like a bike enthusiast and fanatic is it's you can see it when you're talking about it, like how knowledgeable you are on the topic and how passionate you are about it, just from all the information that you've been able to gather over the years of just being like absorbed by that one topic. But at the same time, not only is he able to fix your bike from ground up, he also is very much so into cars.
This is true.
Very much so. Not only is he into cars, he's also working on getting his pilot license.
Yes.
And also is a drone pilot.
Yep.
Man of many talents. But all of these things that you have that you can add to your resume that make your resume look fucking amazing, by the way. Let's go into some of the car stuff that you know about. Because like listening to you talk about cars and bikes, it's very, very similar to the way you talk about bikes. You're very much so into the motors, everything like that, the automotive industry as well.
Right.
I feel like you've leaned more towards cycling as a passion in your later years, but I feel like cars have always held a specific spot in your life growing up too. Like you freaking gave my car a freaking tune-up, and I didn't even know what the hell was going on.
Yeah. So, cars were my first passion.
Yeah.
It was my first love. I didn't. All through high school, I didn't even have a girlfriend because, like, I was just
didn't have time working on cars.
I was
bitch.
just like, well, first of all, like, I wasn't into like 2-month relationships, and second of all, I was like, I could be spending money on my car
instead of a woman.
as a 16 to 18-year-old. So yeah, my first car was Fox Body Mustang. It was $3,500, and I was thanks to my dad. I was fortunate enough that he paid for it, despite me working, mowing lawns, and just saving up money. I worked at Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I had saved up all this money for my first car because, my dad's like, okay, well, you need to save up for a car and whatnot. Typical dad stuff. And I saved up this money. Was finally looking for a car. I knew what car I wanted. It was the Fox Body Mustang, 1987 to 1993. That's what I wanted. And we were looking at them, and my dad was actually looking at them, which is kind of unusual. And he brought this one up to me that was in Red Springs near Raleigh.
That's a drive.
So, yeah, we were doing some... So my grandfather had died, and we were doing some estate sale preparation. That's what I'll call it. And so at the same time, my dad found this car. It was a 1990 Fox Body Mustang. And
gorgeous car. Gorgeous.
It was not gorgeous when I got it.
It was gorgeous when you got your hands on it. I'll tell you that much. That thing was beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. So we looked at this thing, and it's a guy from the military. He's done a couple tours, and he's like, he's trying to have a kid. Well, he did. His wife was pregnant, and he's selling this car like as it's reasonable, like that. Yeah. But anyway, we look at the thing and we drive it around, and I always imagine myself having a 5-speed, like a stick shift. if if it needs any more clarification. So we look at this car, and it's rough around the edges, like the front bumper, like there's been some sort of minor front end collision. And my dad, like being my dad, he wants his son to be able to work on cars. He wants a project. My dad always wants a project. We just went and looked at a plane that was in pieces a couple weeks ago.
He doesn't have a new project right now?
He doesn't have a project going on right now.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, he always
going stir crazy, I bet.
he always has a project going on, but he's always looking for a new project. He really enjoys making something that's not new, new. So
he did that tractor.
He did
that tractor.
He did my great grandfather's tractor. Yes.
Yeah. Then didn't he put it in the parade, the Unionville parade?
Unionville parade.
Yeah.
The first year, I think it was like the first year that he got it restored, or he restored it. He did not get it restored. He restored it himself. He got first place in some category.
Union County Tractor Restoration.
I don't know how they do the. You know what? I don't know how they do the tractor categories. Sorry. He got first place.
Spencer, this is Average Joe's podcast. You don't need to be sorry about shit.
All right. Yeah. Well. Sorry. But anyway,
stop saying sorry, damn it. But get back to your car. Actually, one of the most fondest memories I have of you working on that car, because he tirelessly worked on this car. If you tried to call this man and he actually answered, like, oh, yep, just working on my car.
Yeah.
All the time.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. I remember you were changing it to a 5-speed.
Yes.
And my memory is I crawled underneath the car, bench pressed the transmission into place while you bolted it into place.
I still tell people about that. And yeah, that's valuable because
I love that memory too, because I was like, I can't believe I've been, because I had it holding there for so long. I was like, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, and like having friends to call on to do that is excellent, because
it's invaluable.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many millennials have called on their friend to bench press a transmission up into the bottom of your car while you bolt it into place? Like,
it's not many. I bet there's some other rednecks out there who's like, yeah, dude, I did that last weekend, boy, I'll tell you what.
Right.
So it's like one of my favorite memories of actually helping somebody fix something, because I'm not like, I don't know how to fix cars. Hell, I barely know how to change my oil. Like in my new car, I don't know how to change my oil. I haven't tried.
Hey.
I haven't touched it.
Hey, there's a plug.
Yep.
Drop it out. Pours out. Plug it back in.
Yeah. Change the fuel can, the filter.
Yeah. Go where the yellow cap is in the top. Pour, whatever, like 4 or 5 quarts in. Whatever the manufacturer wants. And you're good.
Yeah, well.
Put a new filter in there.
Yeah, put a new filter in. I need to get my oil changed, by the way. So.
Yeah. Well.
We ain't doing it. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the dealership will.
Yeah, they'll do it for free first time. So.
Yeah.
So I got to go take my car and get an oil change, but that's one of my favorite memories of like us being kids, because we grew up together. Like I've known him for so we met when I was 6. So let's do 29 minus 6.
Look.
23. We've known each other for 23 years. We've been friends for 23 years. We've gone through ups and downs. I've never been in an argument with this man once. Like a serious argument where we were like, I'm done being friends with you because you're a jackass. Not once.
Oh, no one's ever been that with me.
Yeah, well. It's because you're like one of the sweetest people in the world. So.
Maybe my college girlfriend, but that's about it.
We're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
She ruined our summer.
Holy crap, dude.
Ruined it because he was not there because she would get pissed off at him because they had a phone time. They had like specifically set time for them to talk on the phone. It was when me and everybody else from OMJT hanging out.
To be honest,
OMJT. No, it wasn't him. He was trying to.
I'm trying to get some bro time. Saturdays are for the boys. And,
Saturdays are for the boys.
And, pretty much.
Cheers to that shit, motherfucker.
When you come home from college, every day is Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Sorry. I was talking. I had a point to make.
Yeah, but after you cheers, you gotta drink. That's the rules. Come on.
All right.
So,
apparently I don't know anything.
Also, you know everything. So also, one of my other favorite Spencer memories is, I was going to bring this up on the podcast. I already know you know what I'm going with. This motherfucker, it was, obviously we went into the cycling topic, but I want you to hear it from his own perspective, the man, the myth, the legend himself, who basically took out a fucking mother bear with his bicycle.
Yes.
Also injured himself, but I'm going to let him tell the entire story, beginning to end. All the nooks and crannies of the story, if he's willing to elaborate, because trying to get Spencer to tell a story has always been like pulling teeth. He'd be like, yeah, I hit a bear. Like, Spencer, we need more detail. You can't just say I hit a bear and leave it at that. That's not satisfying. So tell the fans that we don't have out there in the world your bear story.
That's right. So it's funny enough, I actually, for the first time in a while, even someone at work didn't know this story. One of the owners of the company didn't know this story. So, I mean, you can't just say, I've hit a bear on a bike and not tell the story.
Exactly.
So,
which is what you did to us.
Yeah.
After it happened, Caleb was like, so what happened? He was like, yeah, I hit a bear. Spencer, Jesus Christ, please elaborate. I need to know all the nooks and crannies of this story.
So the reason it came up at work today is
today. Oh shit!
Yes. So the owner informed us that one of the other employees at another location of ours had been riding at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
And a deer had smashed him in the side. So we're talking about this guy who got hit by this deer, and he's like in his 50s.
Oh,
it's like
God.
That's not, it's not a. It hurts worse when you're older. Is what I'm told. I'm not old.
No, we're not that old
no,
yet.
I'm 27.
Hey, I got 20 years left till I'm there.
Yeah, but that's how the topic came up, basically. And I was like, well, that makes two of us in the company. And he's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, generic, response. And I was like, wait, you haven't heard this story? He was like, oh, what story? And I'm like, oh, I hit a bear on the Parkway back in 2015. The North Carolina. This was still in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It was back when I was in college, and it was a Tuesday.
You remember the day? Shit.
Yeah, it was an overcast Tuesday.
Did you remember the time?
No.
Well,
it might have been like 2:30 in the afternoon, maybe.
So just a regular bike ride.
A reasonable time.
Yeah, not 4:30 in the morning.
And, I get up. I rode from campus, and maybe, I don't know, the mileage may have been like 35 miles round trip. So, I'm 17 and a half miles into the ride. Come back down. Get to where I'm going. Coming back down. Rounding the corner. and I've got my GPS on
Also,
me.
you're going down a mountain.
Going down a mountain.
So
yes.
your speed is essential point here.
This is a mountainous road. It's the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's it's a lot of. It's kind of a big deal,
I'm kind of a big deal.
But anyway,
Ron Swanson.
My GPS clocks me at 43 mile an hour, going around this corner, and there are two cars on the oncoming lane, stopped. So, and all this is, like, keep in mind, like, 43 miles an hour, going on the parkway.
On a bike.
This is happening quickly, despite the way, the cadence of which I'm speaking, it's happening a lot differently in real life. So, you got two cars sitting here on the parkway, oncoming, and I'm like, oh, two cars, bears coming down a cliff. They're coming across the road now. Can't stop. If I do stop, I will come to a stop right in front of them. And then the mother bear, okay, so there's a mother bear and two cubs. The mother bear will attack me to defend their cubs. So stopping and trying to turn around and go the other way is not an option. So my decision is to try to beat her across the road or make it through the gaps in the cubs. So what I do is I try to beat her across the road. I see that she can't see me or hear me coming. So that's exactly what I do. I actually speed up. So I wasn't doing 43 mile an hour when I saw them. I speed up. I start sprinting. Like, have you ever seen like the ending of a professional cycling race?
Like Lance Armstrong about to lose his left nut, sprinting down to the finish line.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, leaving all the nuts on the field, if you want to say that. But I speed up to try to beat this bear across the road before she sees me. Like, and before you say, like, why would you do that? It's like, I don't have any options at this point.
And if you hit the cub, she's gonna attack.
Yeah, and if I hit a cub, I'm still gonna go flying off my bike because cubs are like they weigh pounds.
50, 60 pounds.
Many
newborn.
But anyway, yeah, I decide that the mother bear route is the best way to go, and I try to beat her across the road. But she speeds up her trot. She was trotting before slowly, but now she's trotting faster, and I am like, prepare for impact, like, and I smash into the side of her, like, so hard. Like, bears are not fluffy animals. They're not cute. Like, they're not cute when you hit them at 43 miles an hour.
You were over 43 at that point.
No, actually, I sped up from like 30 something to 43, trying to get past her to get ahead of her, around her, like before she could even like react to paw at me. Whatever she was gonna do, I knew that I was gonna try to get around her, but I didn't. And I T-boned this bear,
but I didn't.
And I go Superman off my bike, and then I hit the ground. The bear may have rolled one or two times, and she was not huge. She was not like National Geographic huge. Maybe like 275, 300 pounds.
Well, it was a black bear, right?
Black bear.
Yeah, so not the biggest bear. He didn't hit a fucking grizzly.
Not the
So.
yeah. It's no.
If you hit a grizzly, it wouldn't have even rolled. It would have just looked at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, a grizzly, that would just make him mad, and he would kill you.
Yeah.
But this black bear, was just like, it's more like a innocent creature at this point. But I kind of feel bad for just smashing into it. But
Shit happens.
shit happens. But yeah, so I slide like 20 feet or so in the grass. Luckily, there was so much asphalt I couldn't have been on. It could have been so much worse. Blah, blah, blah.
But you also end up breaking what?
Well, my right fifth metatarsal, which is one of the top bones on the foot. I'll just point it. Right here.
Right there.
That one and that one.
And that was from because you have shoes that clip onto the pedals.
Yeah, so the impact, like I'm locked into the bike. When I hit the bear, it jarred me so hard that my foot basically like got compressed into the front of my shoe, broke my fifth metatarsal in my right foot, and somehow, I don't know, the way it was positioned at the time, my left fibula. So not the tibia, that's the weight bearing one. The fibula is the good one to break.
It still hurts.
But I do feel it to this day. Say what you want about when a storm is coming or when the rain is coming. I feel it. Like when the barometric pressure drops, I can tell. Like it hurts, and I can definitely feel it.
Jeez, can't imagine because I've only broken my collarbones. I've broken a couple fingers. I've never broken anything other than that. Nothing major I've broken on my body. But also after you hit the bear, what happened? Like you got to tell people what happened. Like they're just sitting here. You hit a bear, and now you have two broken legs, and they're left at the middle of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm on the ground. It is like a shocking experience.
Adrenaline pumping.
And the adrenaline got me through the situation as it's supposed to, and got up. I was a little, I don't know. I wasn't knocked unconscious at any time, but I was dazed, and I was like, I remember lifting my head up, laying in the grass, lifting my head up, and kind of just remembering the situation that I was actually in. Like, I don't know if you remember, like, as a kid, like, if you got hurt or something like that, or knocked down, you jump right up as a kid, just, like, out of, like, trying to redeem yourself from from embarrassment.
Yeah.
It was like, this was a hard hit, and then I dragged my helmet into the ground. There was like clods of dirt coming out of my helmet and grass, and I was dazed, and I didn't have like a sense of urgency to get up because I think I hit my head pretty hard, and I was just like, I had the wherewithal to say, get yourself out of this situation, and I immediately get up onto my feet and walk over to this car, which they're already waving me over to get in the car because of the wildlife. And these people are from Holland. They don't have wildlife over there like we do, so they don't know what to think. They're just trying to play it safe. They're like waving me in like it's a bear. We've seen bears on TV. They will kill you.
Yes. The only thing that comes to mind when you say that, though, is like, what is this stupid American? They hit bears for fun. What the fuck?
Yeah, America's crazy. And damn America.
Yeah, I know, right?
But They're playing it safe. It's a weird way to describe it, playing it safe, but they're waving me. They're waving me to the car.
They're basically giving you a sanctuary where you can know that you'll be safe from the bear.
Yeah. So I get in the car, and the dad. There's a dad, a mother, and a daughter. They're on vacation in Asheville, North Carolina. Greater Asheville, North Carolina. We'll say that. The first thing I remember is let me get my bike off the side of the road, which is a reasonable thing to think.
Considering it's an expensive bike.
Yeah. So, like we've established, I'm injured. I don't know if my legs are broken.
You just know you're in pain.
I asked them if they can. Well, they are from Holland. One of them speaks English. I asked them if they can please get my bike off the side of the road and throw it into the woods. Simple enough request. No, minimal amount of effort to do that. But, reasonably, they didn't want to get out of the car because of the danger of wildlife that they're unfamiliar with. Fear of the unknown. They don't deal with that kind of stuff in Holland.
Yeah, and at this point, the bears already run off. Correct?
Yes, they're gone. Like, the mama bear, she didn't even see me coming, like I said before. So all she knew was, I am crossing a road, and bam! Hit by, I don't know, 185 pounds of bike in person at 43 miles an hour. So I'd be a little bit startled too. I don't know if she got injuries from it. But, I kind of feel bad that I might have injured a bear.
I doubt it. I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Anyway, yeah.
It being a bear and all, I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Yeah, so, back to the... So I'm in the car. They're not going to leave the car. So I get out of the car and walk with my broken bones over to the bike, throw it back in the woods. The bike's destroyed. But I still knew that there was a lot of valuable parts on there that I could salvage to rebuild the bike. And as a broke college student that likes to ride bikes so much that it's like a part of your lifestyle.
You used to also bike 80 miles a day, so.
Well, not 80 miles a day, but I wanted to preserve what I could of that bike because I knew that I didn't have the financial means to just replace it. So I get out of the car, I pick up all my bike stuff, and I throw it in the woods. And unbeknownst to me, like, this is not going through my head right now. Like, my phone is still out there. Like, all my belongings are still out in the grass. So the next morning, my parents show up because I called them, and as I was in the hospital, I called them, told them what was going on. They were there the next morning, Charlotte, North Carolina to Silva, North Carolina. It's about a 3-hour and 45-minute drive. My dad was actually in San Francisco. I guess it was like 5, 6 o'clock at night when I called him while I was in the hospital. And he was in San Francisco at the time. And he was in Silva, North Carolina by like 11:30 the next morning. And
it's a good dad right there.
Don't know.
Good dad.
But anyway, where do I go from there? The detail I left out, which was kind of a novelty, but there was a daughter the people who picked me up, there was a daughter, a mom, and a dad. The mom and the dad didn't speak really any English at all. The daughter did because she traveled around a lot and she was really into traveling later on that I found out. But what I thought was interesting was the hospitality. We'll call it that.
She just thought you were hot for hitting a bear.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if
I don't know what it was.
But as soon as I get in the car, she lifts. She's pretty attractive too. She lifts up her skirt. Well, not in the way that you think, but lifts it up. She's like, "Put your legs, elevate your legs on my legs." Well, you could have done that with your skirt down too, but
she couldn't move. It was constricting.
Yeah. But anyway, that was fun, and then
that was fun.
Yeah, and then that was when the adrenaline was still going. But as the adrenaline wore off on the car ride there, which was very long because they did 40 miles an hour the whole way there. I mean, so slow. And it was just painfully slow. And am I leaving out any details?
No, that's more details than I've ever gotten all at once anyway. So you did a great job. That was a great story. Is definitely in capturing.
Yeah.
And that is one of my favorite Spencer stories. But getting off the hitting a bear topic that we've been on for a little while now, let's go back to our childhood.
Okay.
Because it's not often I get somebody on the podcast that's known me for over 20 years.
Right.
It's we've been friends for so damn long. And we will always be friends. It's hands down. It doesn't matter what you say to me. You are my dude. You and me, friends for life. Yeah. What's one of your favorite childhood memories of us? Just our group. Because our group, we gave ourselves a nickname when we were kids, which I still like it today. I'm definitely going to get it tattooed on me eventually. We call our group OMJT.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally every initial of our last names put into one. And some of them count for two because you got Spencer here, and then we also got Ryan, and then we have Josh, and we also have Caleb. So there's two for the same letter on those, on OMJT. And then you got Alex, and then Tommy is an honorary member. We just have his count as Alex's. And I really want to do a group tattoo where we all get the same tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about putting it right here on me. It doesn't matter where y'all put it. I'm just going to do OMJT and then do kind of like a sigil type thing. It's going to kind of look like a sigil.
We could just do our own logo.
Yeah, but I was thinking about that. OMJT.
Crest.
Yeah, it was going to be like a crest, sigil, same thing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about something like that, but the design part is where I'm kind of drawing a blank of that tattoo, where it's going to be just OMJT across the middle or the top. It doesn't matter. Some sort of kind of shield looking thing, kind of keep it original to a crest type style, and then have I was thinking about having a lifter at the bottom, kind of basically holding up OMJT to represent me and Tommy because we were the ones who were really into bodybuilding, and then Alex be kind of more on the side of technology type shit, where he's super fucking smart and very very technologically advanced.
Right.
And Caleb would be similar to that one too, because Caleb's also fucking smart as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be his part. And then for you and well, not for you, because you'd be have your own basically with the bike on the other side of it, and then on the other side of that it would be because Josh would also be in the lifting one now too, because he's dove head first into exercise science and everything. But originally I was gonna do a marathon runner for him and Caleb, and then for you and Ryan I was gonna do a pilot pin. Yeah. A captain pin. and then it was going to have OMJT right underneath that, and the pin was going to sit on top, and then Caleb and Alex and everybody have kind of like their own little piece, because that like basically represents them, and not the group. Because as individuals, we obviously have more interests and different opinions on things and everything like that. And as a group, as a collective, we come together and make OMJT. So that's kind of like the idea I was drifting towards, but it's been changing over time because Josh was going to be a marathon runner originally. And now he is doing what me and Tommy did in high school, where he's building mass and size and strength. So I was wanting to get like a something to like commemorate our entire childhood. But going off that, what's something from our childhood that is like one of your fondest memories? What just funny, horrifying, just anything that like sticks in your brain, that a memory of us as a group, or just me and you. Like, it doesn't matter. But what's one memory that you absolutely cherish and love?
Yeah. I'll just sum it up real quick. Well, just to start off, as a basic gist of what a mental image for me of our childhood was like. It was excellent. I feel that I had a better childhood than most of my generation, and I would not take it back for anything. I would not trade it for anything.
Hell no.
And it's pretty simple. It's not extraordinary. It is, going, it is like summer days. You think of summer break. Going to the pool. Jake had a pool at his house. Playing Marco Polo. You got Weezer in the background.
Yeah.
You got
Beastie Boys.
Your quintessential, like, early 90s to early 2000s music going on. Actually, for that matter, late 80s to early 2000s. We'll say that.
Well, because we had Metallica, we had Rush, we had Beastie Boys, we had Weezer, we had Hinder, we had 3 Days Grace, we had all that shit.
Yep, and it wasn't on an Amazon Alexa. It was on a boombox.
Yeah,
and
the fucking boombox.
Yep.
You had to have the CD, or the burnt CDs.
Yep.
That we did.
Burnt. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, dude.
Burnt CDs.
Dude, I have some of those still.
Yeah. No Bluetooth. Just boombox.
Yep.
CDs. And I guess the previous generation will make fun of us for saying CDs because they had 8 tracks and whatever.
Cassettes.
Whatever,
But now the new generation is just like, oh yeah, you got Bluetooth? Yeah, dude. All right, hook it
laser
up.
disc.
You got an aux cord? Let me get that aux.
Yeah, but being in the pool, playing games, Marco Polo in the pool.
We had the best midnight Marco Polo games of all time.
Yep.
With the goggles, we spray painted goggles, and we put them on, whoever was it, and they'd have to try to play that way because you couldn't fucking cheat with them goggles on. You could not cheat. There was some spots that you could maybe see a shadow out of, but if very rare did we have a pair of goggles that you could see out of because we spray painted them shit thick.
Yep.
And we had Marco Polo, hardcore Marco Polo.
Yep.
People
got hurt.
Favorite one.
There was pain involved.
So much pain involved.
Which is.
I remember you went across the fucking zip line. And you had a fucking cast on from breaking your arm.
Oh yeah, one arm zip line. One arm zip line. If you fall in the creek, then that's your own fault. You're just weak if you can't hold on to the thing.
It's not even that far. So.
Yeah, it's not that far. But, you hit the other side. You might hit the tree pretty hard.
Yeah.
On the other side.
Might.
But, that's what your body will heal itself. That's what that's for.
Yeah, when you're young and you're meant to learn lessons at that time. But our childhood, I wouldn't give for anything. But going off that, going kind of closer into our graduation, I'd say. Well, mine and Alex's graduation, where Ryan and Josh had kind of already graduated, and they came back for spring break and everything and whatnot. But basically, when we all got together and we were becoming adults, let's go into a memory that you have from that time. Like, if you have any specific ones off the top of your head, just kind of like that'll jog my memory, and I can kind of play off that as well. It's like, what's one of your, other than the Marissa shit?
Ugh.
So, because we were all hanging out. This is that story earlier in the video where he would be on the phone with his girlfriend while me and everybody else were hanging out in the basement. So the basement is notorious. Like, when I write this book, because I'm fucking gonna write this book. This is gonna be a book that's gonna be written. I've already talked about it on an earlier podcast. But anyways, it's gonna be called OMJT Chronicles: The Last Great American Childhood. So I'm gonna start it off when I first moved here, and then kind of do a series of like when we grew up. So like the first series will be when we were real young, when I first moved here, like me meeting y'all and us becoming our friends. And then at the end of that book, I want to introduce Caleb and Josh when they just moved to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's because originally it was you and Ryan first, and then Alex moved to the neighborhood. Or was Alex first?
Alex was first.
Okay,
yes.
So Alex was first, and then you and Ryan came along. And I'm going to have to get y'all's part of the story of that first before I bring myself in and kind of like build like a base. And then I come into the mix and then kind of go from there. But I definitely want to do it like in parts like that. But as like in the later stages of us living in Benton Acres, being OMJT, what's one of your fondest memories of that time period? If you can think of anything. Like, because I remember fucking, oh gosh, we did Ding Dong Ditchin'. We did fucking, which you weren't really there for much of Ding Dong Ditchin'. You weren't a huge fan of that one.
No, I was like, surprisingly enough, I wasn't like into doing stuff like that. I went along with it because I was like young and like
impressionable.
Like, I could do without this, but I'm gonna do it anyway because my friends are doing it. You know, typical. I don't know how old we are, 16, 17, or whatever.
Somewhere around there. But actually, a memory that just popped in my head was when Alex Griffin was over at the house. When you decided to try something for the first time.
Yeah. That was... No, it was... The first time was a couple hours before that. But, sitting in a Zaxby's parking lot.
No, Jesus.
In Monroe, North Carolina. And there's only one Zaxby's there.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, had some nice, it was like AK-47 and whatnot. But,
we're almost done. Okay. Sorry, the wife interrupted. We're about to end the podcast. So I wanted to end it on this note, though.
There's the dog.
Sure. There's our mascot. Our mascot's here. This is Kane, the mascot. He's in just about every video. Yep. So
that's right.
Ain't that right?
Okay.
Ain't that right, Kane?
He has replaced me.
No, he has not replaced you. There's no replacing a Spencer Middleton.
All right.
Kane, get down.
All right. There we go.
So
AK-47.
Yeah, but it
like Kush.
Good shit.
Yeah.
That good shit. But what?
It's like strong.
That's something that popped into my head. But like speaking on that, like what's something that pops into your head is like a very fond memory that you wouldn't give up for anything, and like the older ages of us, right before we all go out into the world and start making fucking babies and shit, being adults and all that boring ass shit.
No, I mean, like, you know, we were all in the stage of life where we're just like facing responsibilities and you know, kind of like heavy stuff that you need to think about when you're, you know, in your early 20s. And the fondest, like, it's just nice to know that you can go back to, like, hang out with your friends and just kind of, like, resume where you left off.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, because those are, like, really significant times in your life and like really the most enjoyable times. And just like open up the sliding door, walking in, and just being like, "All right,
I'm here."
Nothing else matters right now."
So you don't have any specific memories off the top of your head? No.
No, well, like the little area where we had the game table.
Fuck yes, the poker
Yeah,
table.
the late night, like you get home from on college break or on the weekend or whatever, and you come to Jake's house.
He's still there.
Yep.
Didn't go to college.
Yep. So now, but you're making more money than us. That's right. But coming back and just you got that one. You got the table. It's a circular table, and you got all the people that you care about around it, and you have a drinking game.
You play some fucking poker.
You have a drinking game.
You play landmines. You played pyramid. Played square. Dude, I'm so mad that table is now gone.
Yeah.
You know about that?
What happened to that table?
It was in my closet in my dad's new house in Columbia, South Carolina. That house caught on fire.
Okay.
That table, everything in that bedroom that was my old bedroom when I came back here, burnt up. All of it.
Wait, the whole house went down?
Yes. The entire house burnt. So what happened was with that, my dad moved to Columbia after my mom passed away, and he didn't move to Columbia immediately or anything. But after my mom passed away, he went down a different path. I stayed with him, tried to help him get back on his feet and everything, and he did. He ended up meeting a woman, amazing woman. She's not my mom, but because there's no replacing Mama Oakley, is there?
Mm-hmm.
It's not physically possible. Mm-hmm. But that I feel like my mom to like our group of friends was the cool chill mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like she would let us do what we wanted to do, wouldn't like nag us or anything like that. But she was understanding as well because she knows how it feels to be a kid and everything like that. Very, very cool. Would literally sit there and listen to you rant for hours and then give you her opinion on everything that's going on, but you would never feel like she was judging you. That right there is one of the most important things about my mom. Because like after she passed, I wanted to be more like her, as in like I don't want to be the reason somebody's upset because of the way I'm judging them. I want to be the reason that they're able to see a different opinion without feeling like they're being attacked. That's like one of the main things that I've taken from my mom. But after she passed, my dad got remarried. A couple years later, it was a while later, and it's super amazing woman. Like she's absolutely a lifesaver when it comes to my dad. So when they moved to Columbia, after they got married, they moved to Columbia, where her parents are. Her parents are in their 90s, so it was understandable for Dad to move down there because all of his parents have passed away, and the only thing is left here is us kids, and my older sister was off doing her thing. My younger sister was in Asheville, or not Asheville, she was in Boone, North Carolina, and now she's in Asheville. She lives in Asheville now, and I moved down there with them for a little bit, left my stuff in that bedroom, moved back here, started my new job, got on my own feet, had my own apartment with a roommate, and then now to where I'm at now, where I'm married and have a kid, and we got our own house that we rent, and the house ended up burning down because the neighbor's house caught fire. They said it was a hot water heater that ended up exploding, catching their house on fire, which caught their house on fire. And the main part of the house that burned up was my bedroom. So it was completely destroyed. Everything in it. I'm so glad I got my fucking scrapbook from football that my mom and my sister made for me.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I have that. I mean, I did lose my football that I got from the Panthers. Like, that's my game ball right there next to you. Mm-hmm. That's the only football I have left from the time that I played. But that was rough. But at the same time, I'm so happy that the dogs were there, because if the dogs weren't there, they wouldn't have woken up. Yeah. Because Sky started freaking out and like was barking and woke Dad up, and then Dad gets up and goes downstairs and is about to let her out, and he sees lights and shit. So he goes out the front door, and there's a firefighter banging on their door. Like, you gotta get out! You gotta get out now! So he's basically naked. Firefighter's like, this isn't anything new. So he runs upstairs to get the Melody, and then they grab all the dogs and get out. And the entire house burned. Everything got destroyed, except for my mom's ashes.
Good.
Yeah, that didn't even get touched. So none of the photo albums, none of the pictures of my mom, none of the videos, the VHS tapes of the family, none of that got destroyed. Zero. Which is amazing. So
good.
Yeah. Well, you getting tired there, boy?
Oh man,
it's draining, isn't it? But before we end, you got to do a specific memory. You got to. So it's something that'll trigger something in my brain and be like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Like some memory, just any memory of us.
This is from the
as a
time
group.
period of like when people started going to college to like you moving out.
Yeah.
Specific thing. Dude, I honestly just enjoyed the time that we had.
Yeah, but what's a memory that you enjoy?
One memory.
Yeah, just anyone. Hey, just pick a memory. It doesn't have to be specifically from that time when I'm moving out, but just
so fed up.
Oh shit, that was hilarious. So we decided to go skinny dipping. Spencer was so fed up with seeing penis. That was the summer you were gone the whole time talking on the phone.
Yeah, there was a lot of drinking involved.
Oh yes,
that's why you get drinks and then you get a pool. There's a pool.
Yeah, you gotta get skinny dipping. You don't want to look for bathing suits.
You don't wear clothes anymore.
Hey.
So you know what? We're all like guys. We're like, you know what? We're all friends. We've known each other for a while.
Yep.
We're secure, and we don't care.
No.
So we're just gonna take clothes off and go skinny dipping.
Pool bowl.
That's what our drunk selves told us to do.
Yes, and I wouldn't give up them skinny dipping days for nothing, boy. I tell you what.
Yep. So nothing to see here.
That I love that memory.
And then there was a candy thong involved.
That was Alex or Caleb. It was Alex or Caleb.
Yep. I don't know why that was a thing.
It's their sense of humor. You know why? It's their sense of humor.
Yep. Sense of humor thing.
But that was what I was looking for. Is something for me to just like be like ding light bulb, because we had been drinking that night, and Ryan had finally come over like near the end, and we had gone out to grab food, and they came back, and you were sober when you got there, and then when we would come back, you just looked at all of us, and we came and like, you gotta get my fucking level. That was the same night that you were fed up.
Was it really?
Yes, because you texted Caleb.
Yeah.
He wasn't even there.
That's why I was so fed up, because I was still sober.
No, you weren't sober. When we got back, we were like, let's go fucking skinny dipping, because we'd started drinking to try to get on your level. Quotations. Because we had been drinking for a while. And we were like, let's go fucking skinny dipping, because me and Tommy and Alex were going skinny dipping. It was going to happen. So me, Tommy, and Alex jump in the pool naked, and then you had texted Caleb, because he wasn't there, and you were mad that he wasn't there, so you decided to text him, just to kind of make him be like, oh man, I'm missing out on a good memory right now, is what the way I think of it. I don't know what you were thinking, but Spencer just says, in the text message because Spencer's drunk at this point. He is not sober anymore. He was drunk when we got back to the house. And he goes, I'm so fed up. Just, that's all you hear when you see Spencer's text messages that aren't complete. It wasn't the whole story because Spencer never gives the whole story, but just one of my favorite things about you. You leave people in suspense, and it's amazing because the fucking football bat shit, he is the number one person when it comes to one-liners. He doesn't say shit unless he thinks it's going to be absolutely perfect timing or if it's necessary. And that's absolutely one of my favorite things about Spencer, where he just, we're playing a fucking card game, and he's like, this is fucked up like a football bat. What? What the fuck are you talking about, Spencer? And also, one of my other favorite things, I thought about this the other day. I was literally working, and I literally thought about this the other day because I felt like I was a retard. I was like, God, I'm fucking retarded. And I know you're not supposed to say that, but I don't give a shit because I am one, so I can say it. But I was just thinking, I was like, oh, I'm fucking stupid. And then, because it was at, it wasn't at your bachelor party. It wasn't at a bachelor party, I don't think. It might have been at a bachelor party. Where you just go, it was at your bachelor party. It had to have been. It had to have been around the fire. At the lake.
Yeah.
And you just look at Alex and you go, imbecile! I laughed so hard at that because of the way he made you feel. And I knew he was doing it too because I was like, Alex. Because he gets so into it where he's like, how do you not understand this? Because he cannot comprehend of like where our brains go.
Yeah.
Because being ADD, our brains go off in a different direction. When somebody says one thing, your brain will just grab that and then go a completely different direction with it.
Yeah.
Because mine does that too, but not as severe as yours.
Yeah,
nowhere near as
bad.
severe as yours. We're trying to explain games to this man, and we're playing drinking games all the time. When we were about to, like, we were of age. I was of age, I mean. I don't know about him. I don't think he was. But it doesn't matter, because it's in the past, so. But we would play drinking games, and we would try to explain it to Spencer. So it would be explained to Spencer, and he would just be like, okay, I got that part. And then we'll continue explaining the game. We'll start playing around, and here's Spencer. Spencer, it's your turn. What? Huh? How do I do this? And I know the feeling, too, because I have that in school. I had
every
it in
single
school
time.
so many times.
If I'm honest with myself, that's every single time.
It is. Every single time.
As soon as somebody starts explaining how to do something to me, it lasts, by like second 5, I'm already thinking about something else. And
I know that feeling.
Just be honest.
Yeah, and I know that feeling too because I've done it so many times. It's only normally in class, like if I'm in face-to-face with the person, I'm normally able to focus in and like kind of connect and listen to what's going on. But in like a teaching aspect is when we're being talked to as a group. As soon as they start talking about what I'm supposed to know, my brain just goes, no.
Yeah, you just start thinking about other things that you
care about
more.
Yes. And it's so frustrating, but at the same time, it's one of the reasons that you are one of my favorite people. Because you never fail to have a dull moment when Spencer's around.
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing. I remember we went to Wilmington to visit Caleb, and we're doing the fucking blow dart shit with them hard-ass pieces of plastic.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that shit was horrible. And then you're like, that's dumb. That's all you said. You didn't say anything else. And then because Caleb had hit me because I let him, and then I did it to Caleb, and you just go, that's dumb.
Well, I've probably been iced a few times.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you've been iced more than anybody.
Yep.
I feel like because Caleb loves getting you drunk, that's why he ices you more than he ices anybody else. But also, Alex started it.
The contrast from me being sober to me being drunk is pretty much two different people.
Mm-hmm.
let's just be honest. What did the Winkins say? This is the real me.
Oh, going with lyric references here. I hear you.
But yeah, that's pretty sad. But when I look at it like that, but 2, 3 drinks. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But just deep, man.
He's deep, man.
Just deep.
You can't understand the comprehension, and because this is a man who can literally take your car apart and put it back together. Who can take an airplane and be able to look at all the instruments on the dash and pretty much be able to fly it by himself, correct?
Yeah, speaking of ADD, I can fly planes.
You can fix cars.
I'm working on my commercial pilot's license right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a work in progress.
He is one of the most committed people to a thing that he wants to be committed to that you will ever meet. He is hands down one of the most intelligent people you will ever meet when it comes to these specific categories.
I'm not intelligent.
No, you are intelligent. You are very intelligent when it comes to these topics.
But I'm smart.
You're very intelligent when it comes to these topics. It's hands down. You learn these topics like the way I learned about fucking sharks, which is I hear it once and it sticks, and I don't know why. But you're able to grasp it on like a more deeper level than I am, because I'm more of like the lazy ADD person, whereas I have ADD and I'm also lazy. And you're the more like you have severe ADD, but you're not lazy. You're very, very persistent on something that you're passionate about, like bikes, cars, airplanes. You fly drones now, doing that type of stuff, teaching yourself how to do all these different things. You're extremely passionate. You're extremely dedicated when you put your mind to it, and that just shows the character of person you are. And I know for a fact that you're going to go far, and you're going to be well past where I'm at my stage of life when you hit my stage of life. Which it doesn't make me upset or anything. It makes me proud to be a part of your life experience and be like a quintessential part of your childhood. I feel honored to be a part of that. And you are hands down one of the most intelligent people that I know. Period.
I wouldn't agree with the intelligent part, but
I
would agree with the smart part, because intelligent people don't have to work as hard as smart people do.
That's debatable, because you have to work to become smart, but when you have to work even harder, like we do, well, more so you do, because I'm too lazy. I don't do it, so I'm going to take myself out of the equation, whereas you work twice as hard as someone who can just retain it and read it and basically keep that information in him. You work twice as hard, so therefore you are more passionate and more knowledgeable than they will ever be on that thing, because you worked for it. And there's some sort of pride that comes through that as well.
Well, an intelligent person can just they can learn anything, any subject.
But they also take that for granted.
Apply it like it's in a book, and look down on people who are less intelligent, but smarter than them, maybe more wise, just because they can't do it as quickly or...
Yeah, but they also take advantage of that, and they kind of hinder themselves because it comes so easy. And then when something hard comes in their way, they give up. Whereas you go through the hard shit and on the initial end. So when something hard comes up afterwards, you're already 12 steps ahead because you've already went through the hard stuff. So it's oh, this is nothing. This is another hurdle.
Yeah, that's kind of just another thing.
Yeah. So
kind of the way I live my life.
I'm absolutely honored to call this man one of my best friends.
Boom.
And this has been one of the best podcasts I think we've recorded.
I don't know. It probably is one of the worst because my face is in it.
No, your face is in it. Being gracing my podcast is one of the greatest things of all time. So you are one of my best friends. I love you, dude, and I'm so happy that I actually got you to do a podcast, because I was, to be honest, I did not think you were going to do a podcast with me. I thought you were going to be like, nah, I don't do podcasts. To be honest, that's what I figured you'd say. And then you were like, I showed you the podcast. You're like, let's do it. I'm like, fuck it. Let's go.
Let's do a podcast.
Yeah, so we just did a podcast. So I'm going to upload this tonight. Y'all are going to be seeing this by 12 o'clock tonight. And hope to catch you on the next episode. Maybe I can get another OMJT member on. And when I start writing my book, get y'all all put your own part in instead of me just writing the whole fucking thing because I'm lazy.
Co-written.
Co-written. OMJT Chronicles.
That's right.
Yee. Catch you back on the next episode of Average Joe's. Probably going to be a different name next time. Peace.